After knowing what types of urban transformation to look out for and having an exit strategy in mind, it is still not enough if you do not know how to apply it. Hey everyone, it's KS here. In this mini series, I'll be sharing with you some case studies on how you can leverage urban transformation for maximum profits. Get your notes ready and enjoy. So over here, we are right now at topic number 4. What do we have? Okay, we talk about case studies, okay, and how to leverage through urban transformation. So there's a very famous quote by this so-called self-growth coach in America. His name is called Bob Proctor. If you guys actually watch this documentary called The Secret, which is the law of attraction, is one of the speakers as well. So you talk about no amount of reading or memorizing will make one successful in life. Okay, it's the understanding and application of wise thoughts which counts. That means that we can absorb all the information, but we never apply. We don't know how to apply, and we just keep on collecting information. A lot of people sometimes in especially this new age world where information are so overwhelming, like exactly what you're hearing right now from me. You're saying overwhelming, right? People overanalyze and they become paralyzed. Okay, so I want to share with you here, it's important that we learn how to execute, and this is what I'll be sharing with you in the next few slides. Okay, so here we talk about rejuvenating our existing infrastructure for new urban planning. So over here, what we have is a 08 master plan announcement talking about the Paya Lebar precinct that will have an east-west line, that will have its east-west line cut through by a circle line, and it will be in year 2010. All right, so this is an infrastructure that the government has earmarked in the LTA master plan. So we then look at the entire map here, Paya Lebar being here, cutting through the circle line, and I'm going to dig out the exact date. It opened on the 17th of April 2010. Okay, so over here, I just want to share with you developments that actually are within that precinct, how they actually benefited or not benefited through this infrastructure being introduced. So what we have in this area, we have this product called Simsville, a double 9 leasehold development that was acquired in land back in 94. Number of units here 522, just across from the Paya Lebar train station. So over here, we see that before the integration of the circle line and the east-west line, one guy actually tried to exit his property when the waters were still dirty, so to speak. This guy actually sold his unit 1405 on the 8th of May 2009 for $530,000 only, a 969 square foot unit. And then someone else actually exited after the MRT was intersected. All right, so this guy sold at 530,000, and then another guy actually exited on the 8th of May 2010 because 17th April, that's where the MRT opens up to public, right? This guy 1305, okay, just one floor below, 1 year later, sold it for 720,000, the same square foot, 969, making 35% gain in just 1 year. Guys, these two could have been the same investor that bought it at the same time, but exit at the wrong time. Can you see the difference in profit? Okay, 35% more. It's very, very amazing. All right. So the next thing we then talk about new launch versus resale volume. This is very important over here. Okay, so on the left side of the chart here, we see transaction volume in 5, 10, 15,000. In the bottom, we see basically a 10-year timestamp from year 04 to year 14. Okay, so basically this source of this chart is actually by URA, and of course sponsored by DBS Bank. Okay, so one of the different color coding here is that dark gray shows secondary market, light gray shows primary EC sales, and red color shows new primary sales, that means buying directly from developer. Okay, so in the good old days, right, can you see that from 04 all the way to 10, people actually preferred buying resale. And why people buy resale? Okay, first thing first, back then a lot of people scared that when I buy off plan, right, developer go bankrupt, run away. It's a very real situation. Okay, and that was what happens even in the last maybe 10 years. There was two development that did not complete, but those are boutique development, so to speak. Okay, and with that, the other reason why people buy resale, because they want to touch, smell, even taste the unit, if you can taste the unit, before they buy something. Okay, so that was actually the reason why people are buying resale. Okay, and of course, with that in mind, that was the consumer behavior back then. All right, and after that, in year 10, okay, just to share, URA actually introduced data that actually new homes actually makes more money. And then we then see that people are all shifting. Consumers actually shift their behavior and then buy new homes because of that.
So guys, I just want to share with you a simple so-called formula over here. You got to understand that transaction volume equals capital appreciation. What it means here is that if you look at the good old days from 10 and before, transaction volume are all in the secondary market. So if you bought anything last time in the secondary market, you actually see that level of price appreciation. Okay, but after the so-called sharing of transparent data by URA from 10 onwards, we then see that actually buying off plan makes more money. That's where consumer actually then dive towards new homes to buy. And to put it into macro comparison for you as an illustration, do you know that some of my investors ask me, KS, how come if from 2017 and before, okay, the eastern side of Singapore prices keep on shooting up so high? Places like a place where birds don't even lay eggs like Kembangan, the prices in Tanah Merah just one stop down the road actually rose from $500 per square foot all the way to $1,700 per square foot. That being said, is Grandeur Park. Okay, so they say that how come in Bukit Timah prices get so plateau and stuck at 1,500 per square foot? And in fact, we are a prime area. How come it's not moving? So I shared with them that, look, do you know that from year 17 and before, for a good 10 years, the eastern side of Singapore, every 1 year we have 4 launches. In the western side of Singapore, maybe a good 3-4 years we have 1 launch only. So can I then share that every launch actually create price bidding to be higher after the other, right? So the next launch, if they're gonna keep on coming at such a pace, the land cost will be higher, which then means that they then sell to consumer at a higher price tag. All right. So with that, that's what happens to the eastern side of Singapore. The price shoot up so crazily. In the western side, most of the land are already used up. So there wasn't much land to even begin for government land sales. But in the recent times, in year 19 onwards, we see a lot of new launches happening in the Bukit Timah precinct. And that's where we see price shoot up like crazy, right? Suddenly. So this is that formula you got to know. Transaction volume equals price appreciation. And this is exactly what we see, not just on the land bidding standpoint, but also on a transactional standpoint from a consumer to another consumer. Okay, seller and buyer, so to speak. Okay, so in this instance, the bank will then value your property given the most recent transaction.
I hope you enjoyed this mini series. If you are gaining tons of value just from this video alone, you wouldn't want to miss out on the rest of the mini series. So stay tuned and I will see you again.